Hello, everyone. This is ex-Wallkill Bethelite here, and we're going to get into a very deep topic. A topic that I'm not saying I know everything about, but there's a few points that I want to touch on. This topic is deep because it's something that has been going on for years. And that is people saying ex-Jehovah's Witnesses are just bitter. They're just unhappy. They just make videos because they didn't get where they wanted. And now they're just angry. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about ex-Jehovah's Witnesses even that will jump to defend Watchtower. People that are inactive, that hadn't even been in years, and they will defend Watchtower. Well, there's a common thread with a lot of these instances, and that is that the person who is responding, you're just angry, you're just bitter. You're just trying to get back at Watchtower for something. They don't know the person that they're referring to. They don't know by looking at a video. The person that's making the accusation can't tell by looking at a video that this person is not happy in their life. They can't tell by looking at a video that the person is bitter, unless the person said that they're bitter. They can't tell by looking at the video that a person has a certain motive for doing a video. So the people that are saying, hey, this person is just bitter, hey, this person is exaggerating, hey, this person is this and that, you will notice oftentimes these are people that don't know anything about the person that they're talking about. They don't know anything about that person's specific situation. This is an emotional response. Because oftentimes, and we're about to get into it, oftentimes the reason a person is a Jehovah's Witness to begin with is because it makes them feel good. They like it. They favor it over other religions. It's not because the doctrine is accurate. It's not because they do so much good in the world because of the charities and the schools and the hospitals. They don't do any of that. Oftentimes, a person is a Jehovah's Witness simply because they don't like the hellfire teaching. Oftentimes, a person is a Jehovah's Witness simply because they like the concept of paradise on earth. They like to think about petting lions and having pet giraffes. They like to think about building houses on top of mountains. It's not that teaching that everyone will be on earth and 144,000 people will be in heaven is accurate. That's not the reason why they're following it. They're following it because it makes them feel good. That explains the response. They're not responding to you in an intellectual manner when they say, oh, you're just bitter. Oh, you're just angry. Oh, you're such an unhappy person. So on and so forth. This is not intellectual. This is not something that they've thought about. This is not something that they even know. They don't know you at all. The people making the accusations oftentimes don't know the person that they're making the accusation against from Adam. This is an emotional response. They don't want to believe you because they favor Jehovah's Witnesses, because Jehovah's Witnesses are teaching something that makes them feel good. It makes them feel special. The concept that you have this organization and everybody in it is loving and caring, and they don't want to hear anything other than that because it makes them feel good. So oftentimes, if you are talking about something or someone, and a person likes that thing, it doesn't matter if it's a sports team and a person that is a member of that sports team broke the law. You have got fans of that sports team that will defend the person that broke the law, be it whatever. In the NFL, you have a lot of things going on with regards to domestic abuse. There are fans that will defend that person who's accused of domestic abuse, although they know nothing about their situation, but football makes them feel good. That specific team, they like that team. Anyone saying anything about that thing that they like, they're going to respond in an emotional way. Because if a person that wasn't on an NFL team committed a criminal act, committed domestic violence, they wouldn't be defending them. So you have the one point that we've covered, which is certain teachings that Jehovah's Witnesses have. There's no hell, and you're going to be on paradise here on earth, where you are comfortable here on earth, not in heaven, on earth. 144,000 people go to heaven if they want to, or, if they feel anointed. Everyone else stays here. This makes you feel good. Anyone that says anything outside of that, you attack them like people normally do when there's something that they favor or a person that they favor and that person or thing is spoken ill of. Let's also talk a little bit about the former Jehovah's Witnesses. People who may not consider themselves a former Jehovah's Witness, but people who haven't been to the hall in years and they don't know what's going on at the hall. They don't know the person that they're talking about either. The situation in which they are defending Watchtower, they're not that familiar with it either. Why are they doing it? Well, we talked in a previous video about lower expectations, being easily pleased. Some people are born and raised in. Now, it doesn't mean that a person that's born and raised in Watchtower hasn't grabbed hold of the paradise on earth teaching, the no hellfire teaching, and that they just love it because it makes them feel good. Yes, people that are born in can also just favor Watchtower just because of the teachings. And no one can talk ill of it because they like the teachings. That's true. But also, too, sometimes people that are born and raised in are easily pleased by all the little things that happen while they were a member of that organization, and it's become a part of their heart. See, people who haven't been in 10 years, people who are even activists, sometimes Watchtower can still be in their heart. They liked giving talks. Some of them may have liked giving comments. Some of their memories, although not that impressive, there isn't too much impressive about Watchtower, but Jehovah's Witnesses are conditioned to have a much lower expectation for Watchtower and a much higher expectation for everybody else. So even someone who hasn't been to the Kingdom Hall in a long time could jump to defend Watchtower. Oh, you're speaking about Watchtower. Or someone who is a former Jehovah's Witness who will flat out say intellectually the teachings are wrong. But if someone's experience, or you have suicides, for example, there was a woman who killed herself and her entire family. And I saw at least one person, probably more, defend Watchtower and say Watchtower had nothing to do with that. Watchtower doesn't teach anything that would cause a person to commit suicide. Watchtower didn't do it. That person's just crazy. You had ex-Jehovah's Witnesses jumping to defend Watchtower in regards to a situation they didn't know anything about. It's an interesting phenomenon. It's an interesting thing that happens where something is favored. I'll give you an example. You have people who their mate or their boyfriend or their girlfriend has cheated on them, has beaten them, has treated them terribly. And they know it's wrong how they were treated. They know it's wrong that this person cheated on them. But they like this person, so they favor this person. So if you speak out against this woman's boyfriend who beat her or who cheated on her, she will attack you. This is not an intellectual attack, it's an emotional one. You're talking about something she likes, she loves even. It's not too far-fetched to say that people love Watchtower. I don't currently love it. I used to, though. I used to love Watchtower. I used to, as bad as Bethel was, I loved Bethel when I first went. And even as I was going through a lot of things, I was overlooking them. Even though I wouldn't overlook them anywhere else, I was overlooking things that was going on at Bethel because I favored Bethel. I wanted it to go well. So you understand that a person who favors one thing over another isn't looking at it from a completely sober view. They already favor Watchtower. And there's no real logic sometimes to what that type of a person would say. You have people whose parents abuse them, maybe even sexually, but don't say anything bad about their parents because you remember back in the day, you know, when Dad would bring us some bread pudding. Man, that bread pudding was good. Yeah, he used to beat us, and you had better not say anything bad because I'm going to jump to defend this person because he brought us bread pudding. You see, that's favoritism. You would never think it's okay for someone to beat their children as long as they give them a snack. That snack is not that big of a deal. You could have got bread pudding at school. Your friend's house, you could have got bread pudding. A lot of people could have gave you bread pudding. That's not a reason to favor someone. So that's why when I'm talking about people who are former JWs, sometimes you're talking about somebody who the smallest little things of kindness that may have happened to them. They got some friends in Watchtower. They don't speak to them anymore, but they still like them. They still love them. They still favor Watchtower. And sometimes that favoritism causes both active members, people who are inactive, people who are former members, to defend something that was an abuser to them, essentially. This is something that we want to discuss in the comment section because it's a deep topic and we want to get into what you guys think in that regard. Because Jehovah's Witnesses, if you look at it from a logical perspective, when they say you guys are just bitter and angry, when Jehovah's Witnesses, inactive witnesses, even ex-Jehovah's Witnesses that say, oh, you're just bitter and you're exaggerating and you're whatever. Logically, it doesn't make sense because Watchtower has been speaking about other religions, calling them Babylon the Great. In the Revelation book, you may recall, there was pictures of people chasing individuals in Christendom with a bow and arrow. The one guy had an arrow sticking out of his behind. Watchtower has not only been talking bad about other religions for the longest time, they even have illustrations of not just religions showing them in a bad light, but even governments. The United Nations. In the Revelation book, you had pictures of beasts and all kinds of things, and Watchtower is essentially calling these groups negative things. Now, that Jehovah's Witness on an intellectual level would never say we were all just bitter and angry. All Jehovah's Witnesses are just bitter and angry and upset about things that happened to them when they were at these other churches. That's why they're talking negatively about them. They're just unhappy people who are bitter and angry because they were a part of the Baptist church and something bad happened to them, so they joined the Jehovah's Witnesses because they're just bitter and angry. Jehovah's Witnesses, they would never think that way. They would never logically think that, okay, we talk negatively about people all the time. We call them apostates. Watchtower is the main one. Jehovah's Witnesses are the main ones calling people names and saying negative things about people and other religions and governments. They're the main ones doing it. So are they just angry and bitter? Of course they're not going to think that way because they favor Watchtower. Watchtower can do no wrong. So that's the main point here, is that there's so much favoritism, possibly because a person's whole family may be in Watchtower and they just don't want to think too negatively about it. Also, the whole motivation for staying in Watchtower is because it makes you feel good. You don't want anything that doesn't make you feel good. And somebody's experience may not be all hunky-dory. It may not be all, well, bells and whistles. It may not be all ice cream and cake. So no one wants to, it's got to be wrong. It's got to be exaggerated. It's a little bit too real. We don't want to get that real. You know what I mean? Because logically, if a person doesn't know anything about a situation, it's hard to then make those accusations, but again, we see it all the time. We see it all the time when someone favors one group over another. They will ignore everything that Watchtower does wrong, point the finger at everyone else, and they think ex-Jehovah's Witnesses must be unhappy because without the paradise teaching and without the no hellfire teaching, Jehovah's Witnesses have no idea how a person can be happy. They have no idea how a person can be happy without Watchtower teachings. So in their mind, automatically you must be angry. 937-789-4029. Comment down below. We will discuss it because this is something that's been going on for years. I've seen this for years. I know that the person commenting down below under the video that may be speaking to me, we've never met before. I've never seen them. They don't know me at all. I don't know them. But yet they claim to know everything about me. They claim to know everything about other YouTubers. They claim that they could tell the whole motive behind what they're doing, why they're doing it. But they don't know this person from Adam. It's just an emotional response. And an emotional response, logically, is not going to make any sense. Your boyfriend cheated on you. Yeah, but he was there for me sometimes. He's supposed to be there all the time. You know what I mean? That's an illogical response because they're responding emotionally. Jehovah's Witnesses will also, I've gotten this, say you ex-Jehovah's Witnesses should stop speaking out against Watchtower and just trust Jehovah to fix it. That is very, very much based on favoritism, because Watchtower, Jehovah's Witnesses, they don't treat any other church like that. They don't trust that God is going to fix what they think is wrong in those churches. They don't trust that God is just going to fix what they think is wrong in that college. They think if you go to college, you can't go to college because it's bad. Things are going to happen. They don't trust that God can watch over a person in college. Jehovah's Witnesses don't think that a person should wait on Jehovah before speaking out against any religion but theirs, because they like that one. We don't want nothing bad to happen to Watchtower. We want God to just fix that. But we can speak out against everything else and all these other groups of people. So logically thinking, you might have people who are in the process of leaving Watchtower, and they may be out mentally, but not so much in their heart. Or they may not be out completely mentally yet. And that same type of favoritism where they will jump to defend Watchtower. But if somebody were to commit suicide at a college, and people were saying because those professors were putting so much pressure on that person, that's the reason why they committed suicide, they wouldn't jump and say, well, there's no way that college didn't teach that person anything that would cause them to commit suicide. That college is not at fault. They would never jump to defend the college. They wouldn't jump to defend anything else, but they'll jump to defend Watchtower. Why? Because I think sometimes a person's heart is still there. They want to believe that it's wrong. There may be ex-Jehovah's Witnesses that want to believe Watchtower is wrong doctrinally, but they don't want to believe that it's that bad. 937-789-4029. Comment down below. Let me know what you think. We will discuss it. Ex-Wallkill Bethelite signing out.